Today's St. Patrick's Day themed video is a pot of gold. I was a little bit intimidated when I started seeing these kinds of designs out there on the interweb, but it's actually surprisingly easy to do and a lot of fun. So I'm starting off with my regular French method for macarons, which means room temperature egg whites in my mixer, and then I'll start streaming in sugar, and I use a little bit of cream of tartar. Now, as I'm working on getting a really stiff peak and going kind of low and slow, we don't want to have this whipping on high or anything. Don't want to create really large air bubbles. When I get about 80% of the way there, I'm going to mix in black gel food coloring. Now, because of my phone and lighting in my kitchen right now, it looks green, but I promise it's black. I am doing that because all of my batter I want to be black, and the gold coin element is going to come into play later after the macs are baked. So I'm just going to go in and fold in, mix in all of my dry ingredients, the almond flour and powdered sugar. At this stage, it's important just to be mixing in your ingredients. You don't have to worry too much about folding properly or macaronage or anything. We just want to make sure that all of those dry ingredients are completely combined with the stiff meringue. After I get all of the ingredients combined, then I will go on to that macaronage process where I fold and press my batter against the sides of my bowl and fold it onto itself, really trying to deflate the air in a really consistent and thorough way until I reach the ribbon stage with my batter. You will know that this is done and you've reached that ribbon stage when you can pull your spatula up and the batter falls off like a ribbon. I'm just going to finish my mixing and macaronage, and then it will be time to pipe. It is actually quite easy to pipe these pot of gold macarons. I'm starting off with just regular circles, and then on half of them I'm going to go through after I tap my tray and add in a line across the top of the circle, just overlapping with the top. So I don't want it to be even like a third down. I want it to be like in the top fourth of the macaron shell. And then above that line, I am going to pipe an additional little arc of macaron batter because I'm going to be adding sprinkles glued on with royal icing. So I really want to make sure that I have a big enough macaron with that, for the pot itself, and that lip is at the very top, but I also don't want to have a stingy little pile of gold, right? I want these to be overflowing with gold coins. So that's why I'm adding the line where it is, but then also adding on to it at the top. The easy part about this is that I'm using all the same color and the same macaron batter, the same piping tip. Like, it's super, super easy to do. The only tricky part is because I am adding macaron batter on top of macaron batter, I really want to make sure that after these are piped, that I let them rest a really decently long amount of time so that nothing explodes or gets funky in the oven. So I will let these sit longer than usual, more like 35 to 40 minutes, just to make sure they have really thoroughly formed a skin everywhere, including that top portion. Then I will bake them like normal. Once that skin has formed, they're completely dry. I'll bake them, let them cool, match them, and then it will be time to decorate. I am going to be using some white royal icing and some gold confetti sprinkles for my decoration. Now, you might be looking at those and saying, looks kind of yellow. Don't worry, I'm going to paint them after. And another option you have if you want to add on any extra details or outlines with a black food coloring pen or just using a black food coloring and a paintbrush, that is also something you can do before or after this royal icing step. So I'm just piping that royal icing on in that little bump up that we added to the macarons, and then I'm just going to dip it into the gold confetti sprinkles. Now, it is not super important that you can see through to the white because I'm going to be painting everything with gold later. So technically they don't even have to be gold sprinkles. They could be white, or any other really light color would actually be fine. So if you don't have these, don't worry. You definitely can cover it up as long as they're not too dark. And it's also why I just used a white royal icing and I'm not worried about that peeking through. So I'm going to give these time to dry because I do not want to be painting on wet royal icing. So I'll let these sit on my counter for 30 minutes minimum, I would say, more ideally about an hour. Then I have some gold luster dust mixed with either you can do almond extract or a clear vanilla extract or an alcohol, clear alcohol like gin. And then you can just paint that gold luster dust paint on with a food safe paintbrush and just completely cover all of the sprinkles and the little royal icing peeking through. This adds a really intense gold shine to the pots of gold, and it also helps to make it look really full and beautiful, again covering up anything in there that you might want to hide. If you wanted to create a little bit more of a scene or create coins that are falling out of this pot of gold, you definitely could add a few slipping down the sides or a little pile of gold at the base. Again, it would be so easy just with a little bit of royal icing and those sprinkles to add any extra details you want. And for an extra St. Patrick's Day theme, adding something like a rainbow or 3 or 4 leaf clover or something, either painted on or as a set. There are a lot of options you have to stay on theme and add extra details either with this or with a boxed set, which is why I really, really love this macaron. So here you can see the difference between the unpainted and painted macaron shells here. It is a really, really clear and noticeable difference. So I really recommend taking that extra step and taking the extra time to paint all of those little sprinkles. I'm just going to fill these macs with buttercream here. Again, there are a lot of really classic St. Patrick's Day flavors that you could go with. Guinness chocolate or an Irish cream, right? Bailey's or anything minty, or go for a rainbow buttercream or something like that. A lot of really fun things to play around with. These can be sandwiched just like normal and put into the refrigerator or freezer to mature for at least 24 hours. And even with that extra decoration and royal icing, they will mature just like normal. Thank you so much for checking out my video today. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below if you've ever made a pot of gold macaron before and what other details you might add to it. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!